Hello, I'm Master Dominick Violante, and I'm from Avon Kempo Aikido Academy, located in Avon, Connecticut. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about how to use your cell phone as a force multiplier to use as a defensive tool. And I got the idea from using the cell phone from the Kubotan. I'm a certified Kubotan instructor. I got certified many years ago, back in the 70s and early 80s, even up to the late 80s rather. Kubotan was a very popular weapon. People would put their keys on it and have it in hand at all times. Well, what's kind of replaced that, what we have in our hands at all times? Our cell phone. So I'm going to go over a few techniques of how to use the cell phone as a weapon. Aha, look at that. And we'll show you how to use it as a force multiplier. I've seen other people use their cell phone as a striking weapon, and I've even seen people throw it. I guess in an extreme emergency you could do that, but I'm going to go over some more distinct areas of where the cell phone can be used for striking, but we're going to do some escapes or some holds and grabs from it as well. So talking about some of the different ways to use the cell phone as a striking weapon, you can use the cell phone to strike to the eyes. You can use the cell phone to strike to the bridge of the nose. The cell phone can be used into the throat or even into the side of the neck. There's some other areas too that we'll talk about as I demonstrate some of the techniques. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the cell phone to escape a bear hug from the front when your hands are free. And there's several different ways to be grabbed in a bear hug. You can be grabbed with your arms pinned, arms free, below the elbows, above the elbows, and so on. So this first one is for when you're grabbed in a bear hug with your hands free. And you're going to place the cell phone, and we're only going to use the corner of the cell phone for all these different types of technique. And I'm going to press the cell phone to the top of the head. And you can see Sensei Stacy's reaction from that as she grabs right around the center of the head. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center, but as I press, you can see that that's having a profound effect on her and making her want to let go. The pressure on the top of the head, even if you were to take your cell phone and try that on yourself, you'll be able to feel just how much that hurts. Can I use this to strike to the top of the head? Absolutely. I can do a strike to the top of the head with this as well. Now I always tell people when we're using this, keep one finger over the top of the cell phone so that you can apply pressure. That helps you to put more downward pressure and only using the corner of the cell phone. Now we talked earlier about you can use the cell phone for striking different areas of the body. And off of a front choke technique, if I wanted to, I could use the cell phone, the corner of the cell phone, right into the throat. So again, when I bring the phone up, I'm going to aim that corner of the cell phone right to the side of the windpipe, and I'm going to press that in. You can see the reaction it's giving her. So top of the head, the throat is an area that we can press on as well. And then we're going to do one for lapels. And this can also be used for a front choke as well. And the lapels technique, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach up and I'm going to grab the back of her neck. And the reason for that is when I go to apply the pressure on this technique, I don't want her backing up. I want her to let go. Because if she starts to back up, she could start to pull me with her. She's latched onto me. So I'm going to go right into the sternum, and I'm going to do like a sternal rub. In the corner of the cell phone, right into this area of the body. And we know that this area of the body right here is only covered by skin. There's no muscle there. So I grab the back, and I start to grind, and you can see that it starts to buckle her knees and starts to make her move back. And again, just the corner of the cell phone. Here, here, and here so far is what we've used. Now, there are also ways, somebody might see my cell phone, and maybe, I'm talking on the cell phone, they approach me, and I bring the cell phone down from my ear, and she reaches over and she grabs me by the wrist. Well, we can use this to do a joint lock. So I bring this over, I can use one hand or two hands, and I have a joint lock, and obviously I can go into other things, and then I can use the cell phone to strike, temple and the side of the head and so on. So I can trap the hand, I bend the wrist, and I put pressure down with the cell phone. Now if she grabs from a straight across grab, I can do the same thing. And I'm going to bring the cell phone across, and that wrist is still in the same position. If I had to use other parts of my body, I could use the knee to do the strikes with. And again, you see I'm using the bottom of the cell phone instead of the top. Using the bottom, bring the other hand across, trap that wrist, and then use this, or break free and strike to the back of the neck, even into the spine with it. if I decide to do a bear hug from the rear, and this can be used when your hands, you're grabbed above the elbows, you're gonna take the edge of the cell phone and place it right in between the index finger and the middle finger knuckle, the large knuckles, right in between there on the back of the hand, okay? Again. So right between the metacarpals, and I press, and you can see the reaction. And then again, obviously I can turn and strike. So one more time. So this is if I'm trapped above the elbows, or if my hands are free. So if my hands are free, it'll work the same way. And that pressure is the same. And all these techniques, almost all of these techniques I'm showing you come from the Kubotan. And I'm pressing in now. Can I go to in between the ring finger and the middle finger? Sure. It's the same type of technique, going either here or in here. Same thing. If I am trapped below the elbows and I don't have the use of my hands, I would slide my hips over and straight to the groin with the cell phone. And again, the cell phone is a force multiplier, and basically what we're doing is it's an improvised weapon, right? As she grabs, I'm grabbed, I move my hips to the side, I clear a path so I can strike right into the groin with that. Boom. I can even strike to the groin and lift and hook the scrotum with the phone, right? Or I can strike to the groin, which when they back up and let go, I can turn and then strike to the bridge of the nose and those other areas that we talked about, the eye and so on and so forth. We talked about before for the front choke, when I pressed into the throat, that could be the same thing, pressing into the eye. Picture someone taking the phone, sticking the corner in the eye and grinding that corner right into the eye. All right, so we'll do a couple more real quick for when you're grabbed in a front bear hug. Hands are trapped. I take right into the floating rib area, again the corner of the phone, and I'm grinding that in between the ribs. So again, come up. Now, I'm going to show you a different one as well, because there are some people that they don't react to this. You don't get that same reaction. This one is for a bear hug from the front. But this time I'm going to take the cell phone and go right into the spine. And you can see the reaction from her. I take it and I put it on this angle so that I place it in. Both hands come around. And you can see me start to grind that in between the spine. Buckles the knees and forces the person to let go very quickly. So a quick recap. If we do the front choke, I can press into the throat, or I can strike to the eye with it. If I'm grabbing a front bear hug, to the top of the head. If I'm grabbed by the lapels, we can do the sternal rub. Now I've seen some people demonstrate, they said when somebody's walking up to them, they stick it up and they do this. Just place it to the front of the sternal rub, but they can back off too quickly from that. Or if I extend my hand, what can she do? She cannot grab my hand, push it away, or maybe even grab the cell phone out of my hand. So I'd rather wait till I latch on from this and then do that sternal rub. And then we did the bear hug from the back, in between the knuckles. When it's lower, I can strike to the groin, I can lift with this. When it's from the front, I can go to the ribs, or I can go to the spine. If she does a cross, that's okay, either one. A cross wrist grab, I come up and I place, this is a Nikyo lock from Aikido, okay? Again, I have my knees I can use, and then if it's a straight across grab, it's the same thing. I have that lock. This has been a quick demonstration of some of the things that you can do with a cell phone as an improvised weapon. It's a force multiplier, so for striking or for applying on joints or pressure points, it works pretty well.